Find the derivative of y equals 4 cosine t minus 2 cosecant t plus 5. Then evaluate y prime of pi over 3. Y here is made up of 3 terms combined by addition or subtraction. We can therefore take the derivative of each of the terms independently and combine them by addition or subtraction accordingly. Y prime, which can also be called dy dt, equals to, the first term is a constant times a function of t. We can take the derivative of the function t and multiply it by that constant. The derivative of cosine of t is negative sine of t times the 4 will give us a negative 4 sine of t. The next term also has a constant, a negative 2, times the derivative of cosecant of t, which is a negative cosecant t times cotangent t. Times that negative 2, the negatives will become positive, and we'll end up with a positive 2 cosecant t cotangent t. The third term is a constant with no t's. The derivative of that will be a 0. So there's our overall derivative, y prime. The next step is to evaluate y prime of pi over 3, which means to plug a pi over 3 in for each of the t's. Negative 4 sine of pi over 3 plus 2 cosecant of pi over 3 cotangent of pi over 3. So we will have negative 4 times the sine of pi over 3, which is root 3 over 2, plus 2 times the cosecant of pi over 3, which is 1 over the sine of pi over 3, which is 1 over root 3 over 2. It's the reciprocal of the sine. Times the cotangent of pi over 3, which is the cosine of pi over 3, which is a 1/2 over the sine of pi over 3, which is a root 3 over 2. The first term, we can multiply fractions if you want. You can put the negative 4 over a 1. You multiply the numerators, we will have a negative 4 root 3 over a 1 times a 2, which is a 2. The second term has a 2 out front. The first fraction, in parentheses, we're going to take the denominator, reciprocate it, so it'll be 2 over root 3 and times it by the 1, so that will just equal to 2 over root 3. And the second fraction, we will take the denominator root 3 over 2, reciprocate and multiply with the numerator, which is a 1/2. So we'll have a 1/2 times a 2 over root 3. In that multiplication, the 2 in the denominator and the 2 in the numerator can cancel each other. And so it's really just 1 over root 3. The first term, we can cancel the 4 and the 2 down by a factor of 2. We will have negative 2 root 3 plus 2 times 2 over root 3 times 1 over root 3. Maybe I'll multiply those fractions together first. So this will give me negative 2 root 3. I'll leave that term alone for now, plus 2 times, multiplying the numerators, 2 times 1 is a 2. Multiplying the denominators, root 3 times root 3 is a 3. And we can call this 2 over 1 so that we can add those together. And that will give us a negative 2 root 3 plus 2 times 2 is 4, over 1 times 3 is 3, 4 over 3. It is always possible, if we want to get a common denominator between these two terms, I can multiply that first expression by 3 over 3 and write it as negative 6 root 3 over 3 plus 4 over 3. And now we can add these together over that common denominator. So negative 6 root 3 plus 4 divided by 3. It's sometimes common practice to write the positive term first and the negative term second. So the answer can be either the first one before the common denominator. I will reverse then to do the positive one first, then the negative, or the result after the common denominator. And there's the two possible answers.